The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, welcome to the Ring and All of the Sports. My name is Leo Connors. I'm your host, and tonight I got a co-host.
Hey.
Been on this show, what is this, five?
Four.
Dan Beaulieu.
Hey, good to see you,
Brother,
Leo.
good to see you too.
Yeah.
We got a lot of things to talk about. We haven't been going live, so there's some type of technical problems, but we'll fix that, and hopefully soon we'll be up running live again. We got a lot of fan questions. Let's just jump right into it.
All right.
A good friend of ours, Brandon Belanger, wants to know, what do you think of Donovan Jajak's new gimmick, Dijakovic? Or Vic, I think it's Vic. Do you think he has a bright future in NXT, WWE, even though we all know he is one of the best in New England?
Oh, without question, he has a bright future. I'm not sure about the gimmick just yet. The vignettes sort of haven't given us enough information to know, but yeah, of course, he's amazing.
He's awesome, man. Feast your eyes.
Yeah.
You know, I do expect big things out of Dijak. A lot of people will say, you never know what's going to happen when he moves into different places, but everywhere he's been, he's gotten over,
Yeah.
And he's a big guy with a lot of physical attributes.
Yeah,
Strong, fast.
He's a Mike. He's like today's Mike Awesome, but I think he's going to be even bigger.
Right.
Than Mike Awesome.
That's a good way to put that. Yeah. We definitely think big things are in store for Donovan Dijak.
Without question.
Go Vic.
Yeah.
Dijak.
They
It's
call
going to take a little while.
I don't care what they call him.
Right.
I'm still going to be a fan.
It's definitely going to take a little while, though, to get used to it. Yeah. All right, we got Corey Hambrook, first time asking questions. Thank you, Corey. He's got 4. We'll take them one at a time. What does All Elite Wrestling have to do to be a success? That obviously must be the Young Bucks and Cody.
Cody and Hangman Page.
Right.
They're all done with Ring of Honor,
Yes.
to my knowledge.
I don't know how the promotion's going to be, honestly and truthfully. I mean, they sold out one event.
Yeah.
Which was a great thing that they did, but doesn't automatically mean the promotion they have is going to be, going to be phenomenal. They got a good chance because they got a good group of guys as the stars already. But who else are they going to bring in, to help with it?
I think that's a big question who they bring in, but I also think that it's hard to say what they're going to be. Obviously they're not going to be WWE. No one's ever going to get to that level, so we're not even going to go there. But, maybe they could be, something kind of similar to Ring of Honor, kind of similar to what TNA has become. I mean, people are going to want to go there.
Right.
And I think those guys are smart enough to make something. I think they know how far they want to take it.
Right.
And we'll kind of see. I think it's not going to be huge, but it'll be good. It'll be good.
I think to be a success, they definitely need to bring in the right guys too. You know what I mean? You can't just expect it all to be like on them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's only 3 guys? I don't know if
4.
Does Kenny Omega leaving New Japan? Probably not.
His contract's almost up.
So he might. But even if he does, let's say he does, that's 4 guys.
Yeah.
You're going to need more guys to work with. You're going to, I think what would really might help them is don't do a TV show like Raw.
Yeah.
If you're going to have TV,
Yeah.
do the squash matches. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that way you'd be bringing in other young guys, and it would be kind of like how, if you watch the WWE from the late 80s and the early 90s, a lot of guys that wrestled for them ended up 5 years down the line becoming a good name in the sport. That's just something I'd like to see. It's going to be hard no matter what. I don't care who you are. You're starting a promotion.
Well, the only thing is about this day and age is you can stream things online. So they could do that.
Yep.
You don't have to have a TV show.
Right.
You could run house shows or live events.
Absolutely.
And is it going to be something that's going to compete with WWE? I don't think anybody wants to do that anymore. I think WWE is the top company, but
yeah,
they could have some. I mean, they could have something that people want to watch.
Exactly. And they have very popular wrestlers, so they have that going for them. they have that they were able to sell out an event in minutes.
Yeah.
You know, they have that going for them. They're very, like I said, they're very popular. It's just a lot. It's kind of too early to say what they have to do to be a success, because all we know is that the 3 guys are going to be there for sure. So,
and Hangman Page, who is probably not on the
so
level.
far right there.
Yeah.
No, but he's a good wrestler,
Yeah.
though. Hangman's good, too. He definitely is. But, Corey, I don't know. That's really kind of early to say.
Yeah, I agree.
think. Corey's next question is, can Rob be fixed? Yes.
Yeah. It's not, Vince is showing up tonight.
Yep.
Hopefully, I just think the writing's been, it's not good, but
Right.
But it's, let's be honest. I mean, in the Raw debuted in '93, so in the whole 25-year, almost 26-year existence, this has not been the worst it's ever been.
Right. No
95 to me was probably
right.
the worst.
It definitely can be fixed. It's kind of hard too when you lose. Like, people want to boo Roman Reigns, but guess what? They paid to go in and see him, and they boo him. It can. I definitely think it can be fixed. I think it definitely needs to. Supposedly they're going to 2 hours. That's the first step, right there. Honestly, 3 hours is way too long. People are not. I don't hear anybody ever go, "Oh, I can't wait for the 3 hours of Raw."
Yeah.
I hear people constantly complaining that it's too long.
Yeah, it is long.
So again, that's just something that over time we will see if it can be fixed. But I think we both agree that it can be.
Yeah, without question.
His next question from Corey: will ROH survive the Bullet Club's departure? Yes.
Yep.
They survived the AJ Styles, at the time, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Low Key, they survived all those guys leaving pretty much right around the same time.
Let's be honest what Ring of Honor is. It's a breeding ground for WWE.
Absolutely.
So there will always be that next independent wrestler that's going to get signed there, that's going to catch on, and WWE will keep taking them. WWE could have taken the Young Bucks. I mean, they've already had Cody or whatever. They could take they want them.
Right.
But if they're leaving it on something else, someone else will come up. And,
of course, absolutely. You're right about that.
There'll always be a place for Ring of Honor in wrestling, at least I think.
I think so, too. And like you said, there's plenty of guys to sign. We know a bunch of dudes, even just from New England, that would actually help them out.
Bring in Anthony Green.
It's a bunch of guys, though. Josh Briggs, Anthony Green, there's Danny Miles, there's Teddy Goods. And that's just 4 names I just threw off the top of my head. Casanova, Killing Over altogether. I mean, there's a lot of talent here. Ace Romero.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Plenty of guys that can pick up. Are they going to be as popular as the Bullet Club? Who knows? Maybe.
And that's just New England we're talking about. We
Exactly.
don't know the rest of the country with what's
There's
going on.
plenty of guys all over the place, really. And his last question is, how bad does the Bullet Club leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling hurt the promotion's U.S. marketability? Probably going to hurt no matter what, because, they are very marketable.
Yeah, I think it does. I don't know if it will. I think now New Japan has been around for a long time.
Yeah,
and this is not. And it's not the first time that New Japan's. WCW used to have a running contract with them.
Yep.
No, it's not, it's gonna maybe in the short run might, but
maybe at the beginning. Yeah.
But now you've brought in some fans that will probably be into it either way. So yeah, it could hurt a little bit, definitely.
Yeah, I think it might hurt. Like you said, might hurt a little bit at first, but they've survived so much. They've been in business for over 20 years. What's to stop them from continuing to be successful?
And it's got to be over 30 years, right?
Probably. I just said 25 because I knew for a fact. 20.
Yeah.
I knew for a fact it's been it's been at least that. Okay, Nathan Fuller, Leo and Dan, what did you think of last night's TLC pay-per-view? Enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was good.
I was happy to see someone win a title. 2 people actually win a title. We're going to go over the show in a few minutes, but yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought all the matches were pretty good.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I love the stuff. I actually liked them all ganging up on Corbin.
Yeah, that was really good. I liked that a lot.
Entertaining.
You shouldn't have screwed people over like you did.
Yeah.
That was real. That really was good writing in that. I liked that too.
And the crowd was so hot for Kurt Angle, which,
right,
as a Kurt Angle mark that I am, I couldn't have been happier.
Nathan also asked, do we think WWE TLC pay-per-view will be good? Yeah, I'm sure we both. I thought it was going to be good.
It was good.
Definitely. Mike Miller wants to know, for Leo and Dan, who is your current favorite NXT superstar? And are you worried about them going to the main roster and being forgotten like many others? Out of all of the NXT superstars, who do you think has the most potential and will go the furthest? Let's go with the first part. Who is your current favorite NXT superstar? You can say a man and a woman if you want.
I mean, it's tough because I love Tommaso Ciampa. He's
Yep.
from New England. And I root for him. I want Ciampa to do the best that he can, and he's one of my favorites. But Velveteen Dream is my favorite person in NXT.
He's awesome.
I'm very afraid that when he goes to the main roster, it's not going to go as well
Right.
as things have gone here, or gone in NXT, I should say. And I mean, what are you gonna do? You know.
I think Velveteen will be fine. I really do. I was worried about him when he first started doing the gimmick, but he's killing it.
It's just
he
so
really
good.
is killing it. Myself, my favorite current NXT superstar. There's just so many.
Yeah.
But because of how the question is, am I worried about them going to the main roster and being forgotten? I'm gonna say the Undisputed Era, and they ain't gonna have any problem at all. They're gonna come up and they're gonna be a big time success.
I can see that.
I mean, Adam Cole came up just for the Rumble.
Yeah.
And he had the people screaming his name and stuff. I think all four wrestlers are phenomenal. You know, and they're not my favorite.
Yeah.
But I like all the guys on the roster. So because of where the question was going, I like the Undisputed Era for that one. And the second part is also out of the NXT superstars, who has the most potential and will go the furthest?
Oh, wow, that's a tough one. Because you don't really know, like, if you saw how NXT had kind of gone, Lars Sullivan wasn't a guy that I thought they were going to have so much hype into the main roster. But I think if you look up and down who's going to have the most lengthiest career with WWE, Adam Cole.
On this question, I'm going to go with Aleister Black.
I can see that.
I think the Mystique, he's not going to be the Undertaker, but they definitely want to set somebody up with the Mystique like that. And I think he's perfect for that part, you know?
The only thing I'll say, the only thing that I think on that, Adam Cole is what, 28?
Yeah.
And Aleister Black's 33?
Right.
So that could just be longevity-wise, you know.
Right.
But I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. But
Exactly. We will see. But there's plenty of guys, like we said, you know what I mean? We're actually going to be doing a segment, what's in store for the NXT guys. So, but that was a great question. I like Aleister Black, and you said you liked
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, baby.
Baby.
Next question is from Brandon Belanger again. What do you think of Matt Riddle as a wrestler?
Awesome.
Yeah, I think he's great. I think he's going to be fine. What I don't understand is he left the he left UFC because they wanted to drug test him all the time.
Yeah.
I would imagine the WWE is going to drug test him too.
Yeah, it kind of breaks. Well, didn't he fail tests in the UFC?
Oh, yeah, because he didn't stop smoking weed.
Which I have to look at the WWE policy right now because obviously, you know, you're going to worry more about steroids and other drugs.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is my own stance on it. Marijuana should be legal across the board in every state. It really needs to be. That is not if you drink alcohol, you know, you're okay, but if you smoke weed, you're not. I don't know if that. They seem the same to me.
Right.
One's less dangerous on your body.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I don't know. I think Riddle's career is gonna be awesome.
Right.
You know.
Oh, no doubt. Me too. I really do. I think he's going to be fine. I'm a big fan of his. I like his style of wrestling too, you know. He's got so many submissions that he can pull out of nowhere.
Yep.
I think he's going to be a very big success. I really do. Tim Sinat, is that how you say it? Senate wants to know, are fans being too harsh over the current state of Raw and the WWE as a whole? I say yes. Enjoy the show, guys.
I agree and disagree because I'm also for that thing is that we're all consumers.
Yep.
and we consume certain things, and there's certain, if there's a movie I don't want to watch, I don't go watch it,
Yep.
or I go to the store, I buy what I want to buy.
Right.
I think fans have the right to complain when they're not happy. I think that's very valid. It doesn't mean they have to listen.
Right.
But you as the fan don't have to watch.
Bingo.
So,
Ding, ding, ding. I like that part what you just said right there.
I think it's very fair for fans to be critical of a product they're not happy with.
Right.
For me, lifetime wrestling fan, I've been a fan since 1991. Now, here's the big thing. You have the internet now. So
Yep.
if I was unhappy in 1997, I couldn't run to Facebook and rip it apart. There
Nope.
was no Facebook.
That's right.
Now you can. It has its good and its bad things. I think it's fine for fans to be critical. Is it too critical at some points? Fine. But I also don't have to read your posts and
right.
think the same thing. I can think of
Absolutely.
myself. So I think fans can be, they probably were critical all through all these years. There's now a place that you can put it, essentially, when you're not happy.
I look at it like this. You can complain all you want. But product hasn't been very good lately. It hasn't. What can be fixed is a lot of things they could probably do to make it better. I'm the type of fan that just goes to a show, and I can't change what they're going to do. So like you just said, everyone can say what they want online, right? But if you're really, really, really disappointed in the product, stop watching.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I mean, I hear the same guy, and I see this on this guy Bob Cook's Facebook, how the same people complain. Stop watching. If you want Vince McMahon to change, the only way he's going to change if it starts affecting his pocket.
And to be fair, Raw had its lowest ratings of all time.
Horrible.
And now Vince is showing up tonight to say, I'm going to shake things up.
I hope so. He's got to. Something's got to be done.
And the funny thing is the same with, wrestling's not very different from the major sports.
Right.
Okay, when the Red Sox aren't playing well, people aren't going to the games as much.
Nope.
The NFL will literally, when a team is playing bad and they're not selling enough tickets, they will make it so you can't watch the game on TV. Wrestling's in the same spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think, at some point, we're lucky in Boston sports where our teams are very great.
Right.
But there's going to be a time when people aren't watching like they do.
Right.
And wrestling's no different.
That's right.
So-
Exactly.
I'm never going to stop watching. I don't care how bad the product gets. I'm still
Right.
going to watch.
I look at, like you just said, you bring up the other sports. I can guarantee you when Tom Brady retires, unless they have somebody to take his place that we all know is great, that viewership is definitely going down.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
We'll get cheaper tickets to go to Foxborough.
And that's true. The prices hopefully will drop down. But that was a great question, Tim. Thank you very much. Good buddy of mine in the wrestling business, a wrestling manager.
Nice.
As the doc goes on, just want to know about the future of the War Raiders. I go way back with Todd Hansen, and it's so great to see what he and they have accomplished. Doc, absolutely.
Yeah. I think their futures, one of the biggest, when I started watching Chaotic Wrestling, the top three guys were Malonis, Hansen, and Fury.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all those guys. Hansen's part of the reason why I'm still a fan. That got me hooked into Chaotic
Right,
Wrestling.
right.
And I think that Hansen and
Well,
Rowe, they're going to have a great. I think they're destined for big things. They put them in the. Why am I blanking on everything?
War
now?
Games?
The War Games match. I think those guys have
I
big
agree.
futures in WWE.
yeah, I think they're gonna have a very, very, very bright future, Doc. Like you, Doc, I've watched Todd from the very beginning. I think I have a picture of him after he wrestled with my daughter, after he had like his 5th match or something like that. So early in his career, followed him. Really was a big fan, still am. Very proud, you know what I mean, as a New England wrestling fan, to see all the stuff he's accomplished. I see nothing but big things ahead for the War Raiders.
That's a T-shirt that I'm waiting to purchase
Yeah, me
when
too.
they make one.
Me too.
know?
Now, your brother Mike Beaulieu wants to know, who is the worst character in wrestling history? His vote is for Oklahoma, which was
Yeah.
Ed Ferrara doing a horrible impersonation of Jim Ross.
That was one of the most classless things
Ridiculous,
I think I've ever
ridiculous.
seen in wrestling.
How about you?
I mean, obviously, I think the gobbledygooker was probably the worst.
He's up there, yeah. And
if-
you even, no, I'm sorry, Mike Miller said,
the
Yeti.
That was one of the worst things. I mean, I didn't see
Yeah.
it live, but I mean, the
It was
Yeti
horrible.
comes out and starts hugging
Yeah.
the giant. They were both squeezing.
Yeah,
Hogan
yeah,
a
yeah.
bit.
They were like this, him and, that was horrible.
There was some really bad stuff with the Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah.
As much as I'm a Kevin Sullivan fan.
Yep.
But I think a lot of stuff with the Dungeon of Doom was bad.
The one with Brutus Beefcake, what was he, the Zodiac?
Zodiac. He
That was horrible.
The Booty Man at one point.
Yeah, he has a lot of bad
He's
gimmicks,
had some
that
really
guy.
bad. Earthquake was the shark.
Yep, and then he was the guy that fell down, the Shockmaster.
The shark. Oh, that was Tugboat.
Isn't that the same guy?
No, Earth. John Tenta and.
Oh, wait, Fred Ottman.
Yeah, yeah.
Fred
We saw
Ottman.
him at the
Yeah.
Hall of Fame
Yeah.
fan weekend.
Yep.
My thing that I hated more than anything, and I guess when I come on the show, I realize how much of a Mike Awesome mark that I kind of am, because
Yeah.
I was a big Mike Awesome fan. What was it Fat Chick Thriller and that 70s guy were two gimmicks that were given to Mike Awesome in WCW that
Yeah.
really, really rubbed me the wrong way.
They were horrible.
Because his ECW stuff, amazing,
great.
and they just,
Yeah, they screwed him over big time.
those were bad.
Yeah. I just had it on top of my head too. What I was thinking is, it was in the WWE. Obviously, like you said, the gobbledygook was just like horrible.
Thanks for. I mean, I was too young at the time, but
How about the
terrible.
zombie who wrestled at the first ECW WWE match? The first match was the zombie, the late Tim Arson. That was horrible.
But the point was Sandman was going to squash people,
Right.
but that was.
Gimmick was hard. He was doing that gimmick in the Indies too.
Oh,
So,
that was an actual gimmick.
yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was a
Okay.
gimmick he had been using, and obviously after he was on that TV show, his price went up big time.
Another terrible one probably was there was a lot of hype of Matt Bloom returning to WWE, and then they gave him Lord Tensai, which
Yeah, that wasn't a very good gimmick.
I was
either.
trying to buy into it because
Right.
there was one.
I
way-
like him.
He beat John Cena and CM Punk back-to-back weeks, and
Yep.
then they just said, we're giving up.
Yeah,
We're just going to give up on it.
that wasn't a very good gimmick. But like you said, there's been so many bad ones.
Giant Gonzalez.
You wouldn't know this. Old Memphis Tega, the dude from he was from outer space. That was horrible. Just so many Memphis gimmicks that we could probably do a whole episode on that. That's how bad they were.
I'll say this right now. Probably as much, again, I'm a Kevin Sullivan fan. I enjoyed Kevin Sullivan's work. The Dungeon of Doom has some of the worst stuff we've
yeah.
ever seen
Absolutely.
in wrestling.
Absolutely.
You know.
Pat Taylor wants to know, should John Cena hang it up and focus on his acting career? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's kind of addressed that. He said he's not going to be. His time is up. Someone
Yep.
else's time is now, which is very true. I think John Cena should be. Yeah, if he wants to do a movie, I mean, he's 41.
Yep.
I think doing movies for him is good now, but I don't want to not see John Cena in the ring again.
Right.
I'd like to see him come back. You know, when there's the big match, you know, to do.
Well, I mean, if I think he's pretty much ready to call it quits anyways. But yeah, I think he should, Pat, focus on his acting career. I think he's definitely going to be a good mainstream star. So now we just have to wait for John Cena to tell us when he's done. But I definitely do see it coming in the very near future.
Yeah, and to be honest, John Cena is one of those guys where we're going to have a lot more of appreciation for him. Once
Absolutely. Too many people don't appreciate him.
And I mean, there was years where you're like, oh my God, I can't deal with Cena winning anymore. But as I look back, I go, yeah, he was great.
Oh, he definitely was. Jesse Martineau. Martineau. Sorry, I always butcher names. Who are the top 5 French-Canadian wrestlers of all time? I'm going to just say mine right now. Number 5, Killer Kowalski. I won't put him in order.
So he's a French-Canadian descent,
Yes.
Kowalski?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Edge, Bret Hart.
Are they all French-Canadians?
Yep.
Though? Okay.
Well, Bret Hart, him. Who did I just say? Bret Hart and Edge, both French-Canadian. Killer Kowalski, I looked them up today, so.
Oh, okay.
Who else there is? Owen Hart.
Yeah.
Easily, and Pat Patterson.
Kevin Owens, too.
Kevin Owens is there, but I don't think he's top 5.
Really?
The 5 I just named below him out of the water. Killer
Yeah.
Kowalski.
Yeah.
Pat Patterson. Pat Patterson had a 27-year career, won titles everywhere he went, and only spent the last bit of his time in the WWE at the end of his career. He had runs in San Fran, Texas, LA, Florida, everywhere.
I think you did a better job researching that question than I did, because when I thought French Canadian, I was thinking specifically, and I didn't know Bret Hart had French Canadian descent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's a good list. I mean, there's others that come to mind, but I don't know if they're in the top 5.
Right. I definitely needed to have Edge up there because he just was unreal. You could say Christian if you really wanted to, if you want to go that route. But like I said, Pat Patterson, Killer Kowalski, Bret Hart. The other two I said. Owen is definitely got to be. If he's not in the top 5, he's top 6 or 7.
Okay.
Roddy Piper's French Canadian too.
Oh, is okay.
Yes,
See,
I mean you could always throw him in there. Benoit was French Canadian.
Benoit 100% was. Because I always thought the Hearts, I didn't think that was a French Canadian. Like it's Canadian, the Canadians, but I think they were French Canadian. Benoit actually, yeah. I mean, that's always a sensitive subject.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. I mean, the guys that were there, that Jericho, easily in the top 5. You know, like I said, Bret Hart, Benoit, Roddy Piper, Pat Patterson. Then you got, and then honorable mention guys, Kevin Owens. Let's see, there's a whole bunch of guys that they wrote down. There's just so many, honestly, like so many French. The Miz is actually French Canadian, but he's from the United States.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I said Tino Morella.
Really?
Everybody thinks he's Italian, but he's from Canada, French Canadian. Lance Storm. There's just a lot of guys. Eduardo Carpentier, who you guys probably never even heard of. One of the greatest wrestlers of the 50s. I wouldn't even put Sami Zayn in there.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Sami Zayn is honestly as good as everybody thinks he is. He was better under a mask when he did a bad Spanish accent. Honestly, that's one guy that they've given chance after chance. Fans just could care less about him. He gets a little cheer, but
I'm a big Sammy fan.
I could take him or leave him, honestly. Don't forget, too, you got Trish Stratus and Natalia.
Yeah.
You know, there's just a lot of great French-Canadian wrestlers, man. But from what I read, they had Pat Patterson was at number 5, right? Then they had Chris Jericho was at number 4. And then they had Roddy Piper at number 3. Edge at number 2. And, of course, number 1 is Bret Hart.
Okay. Yeah, because when I saw that question, I go, oh, well, I didn't have time to really look into who's Canadian, who's French Canadian, or whatever. So, no, that's good. I like that list.
Definitely. The next question, thanks, Jesse. Next question is from Renee. Do you think
Renee?
Yeah. Do you think professional wrestlers are a good role model for kids? John Cena, enough said.
Yeah. Depends on the wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean,
but John Cena's unbelievable with kids. Done more Make-A-Wishes than anyone in the world.
Yep. I mean, I think it depends on who you look at as role models. I think John Cena's one. I mean, I wouldn't say AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan were bad influences on people. I mean, granted, I guess, you could tell kids and say, hey, I don't know what you think of the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes, but you could be like, hey, these guys, look at these guys. They didn't want to be part of WWE. We're going to do our own thing. I mean, that's kind of.
Cody wasn't. Had a million chances to get over with the fans and didn't.
And I mean, depends on what you mean for role model. I mean, working hard and being successful is pretty. I think that's a good lesson for kids to know. I don't think Hulk Hogan's quite the.
No,
best
but it
role
says, do you think professional wrestlers, like you just said?
Yeah.
Not all of them.
No.
A lot of them are, and a lot of them aren't.
Yeah.
I mean,
you could look at some even local guys. I would say.
Yeah.
Good. I've seen obviously a guy like Brian Fury's worked really hard in wrestling and now owns a company. I've seen Josh Briggs. He spends a lot of time with the fans and the kids and stuff. So I think they can be and they can't be.
Right. All
Yeah.
depending on which wrestler we're talking.
And that's how you can define any individual who does anything.
Right.
You know.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question, Renee. Robert William, man,
He loves it to do this.
God, a gigantic question. That's why I said I ain't writing all this down.
Yeah.
Robert William wants to know, final battle thoughts. The Briscoes became 10-time tag team champs in the main event. But when I noticed on Twitter was people talking about the Young Bucks Rocket Tribute attire. If people don't care, why do they keep putting belts on those guys? Also, do you agree that going on last just because the Young Bucks were leaving over Cody versus Jay for the ROH title? No, I don't agree with that at all.
No, I didn't
don't
like
think
that.
they should have been last. I'm not a big fan of the Young Bucks, though. I've told Dan that today. Not a big fan of them. They talented, yeah. I see no originality with the, that was been done. It's been done.
Yeah.
I think there's a million wrestlers out there in this world that can do exactly what the Young Bucks are doing. Are they creative? Yes. Are they special wrestlers? I don't think so. I think a lot of guys can do exactly what they do in the ring. They turned a great finishing maneuver into a joke. The super kick.
Oh, the super.
A joke.
What about the Meltzer driver?
I don't follow him enough to know what the Meltzer driver even is. Let's put it that way.
I really like the Young Bucks. I like their marketing. I like who they are in the ring. I think Ring of Honor fans care more about. I guess like I've never been a diehard Ring of Honor fan. So me and Bobby watched. That's Robert. We watched the show on Friday.
Yeah.
I didn't care that much about the Briscoes winning a 10th tag team title, and I didn't care that they closed the show. So yeah, and people are probably on Twitter talking about the Rockers gear. That was kind of cool that they were wearing that.
I didn't see the show. So.
But the Cody Lethal match wasn't anything special either. So
You're right.
yeah, I guess it really didn't matter. But I don't know. I always think a main event should be something new or something. It's just a 10th title reign. I don't know if that's a main event where I don't know.
I don't think
a tag title reign.
I don't think that was the reason why they went on last. Like Robert's saying, it's most likely because the Young Bucks were leaving.
But Cody's leaving too.
Yes. But I think a main event, whatever your world title is, should be your main event. Even though the tag team titles, are world tag team titles. I know the Briscoe brothers from catering jobs I've done and stuff. Two of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I think the only two guys that are there from day one with Ring of Honor till now.
Yeah, maybe that's why,
fans do love the Briscoe brothers.
It was a good match. So
I'm
don't get
sure
me wrong
they
on
were in
that.
it.
It was a great match.
And like I said, I know the Young Bucks are good wrestlers. Never would I say that. They just don't do nothing for me. I think you could get a lot of different guys that are 5'11" and 6 feet, 5'10", that can do exactly what they're doing in the ring, move for move. They are marketing very well for themselves and can't take any of that away. Again, I would never say they're bad in the ring. I'm just not a fan of the Young Bucks.
All right, fair enough.
Robert's next part of the thing was TLC thought. WWE got it right, closing the show with the women's TLC match. But are they doing Asuka a disservice, having her win the belt this way? She gets the title, which is a huge compliment. But will her reign be overshadowed by WWE best storyline with the man, Becky Lynch, the queen and the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey? The queen, obviously, is Charlotte Flair. To me, what I saw in this is they took the belt off Becky, so Becky can now start to work a program at Ronda, and they will main event WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, I mean, Malonis posted something not too long ago, was that when you're watching a movie, you watch every act.
Yep.
And you don't really make a decision on a movie until the final act.
Yep.
With wrestling, it's an ongoing act. So we don't really know where this is going, because you could be right. I mean, Vince McMahon could come tonight and say Becky Lynch is now on Raw.
Right.
We don't know that.
Yep.
I don't know if it really took away. I think Becky is the biggest thing in wrestling right now.
Yep.
I've never, because I'm gonna be honest, I've not been a Becky Lynch fan since she came in.
Right.
And what's happened recently, I went, oh, I was wrong. She's awesome.
She is awesome. I just think it's so dumb how they're pushing the women, and she calls herself the man.
I don't. Yeah.
I just think it's dumb.
I don't-
People are loving it though. Oh, why? Explain that to me how it makes sense when they're trying to push the women. Finally, the women are in their spot, and she's calling herself the man.
Well, I
Is that
mean,
a slap in the face to all the work they've done?
yeah, I don't know, because obviously it started with Charlotte, because Ric Flair would say, "I'm the man,"
Right.
and now she's. I don't totally
But she's
get
not
it.
a man unless she has a penis. Maybe she
I
does.
I hope not, but I don't think so.
No,
I don't know how she identifies, but so I don't think really. I don't know. I'm just happy Asuka's the champion. So
Me
it's really
too.
hard to. It's hard to say, but yeah, I don't know. Again, we don't know the next act.
Right.
We don't know the next act. Let it play out. Asuka's champion.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, people aren't going to remember every little individual storyline. They're going to remember that Asuka won the SmackDown Women's Championship.
and it also sets up for Asuka and Charlotte at WrestleMania for 2 years in a row.
That would be great too.
That's what I'm taking out of what I saw.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I did watch the women's matches today after
Yeah.
work. I didn't. That's all I watched.
Okay.
You know, I thought both women's matches were good. People are complaining left and right about Ronda Rousey, but what do you expect her to be? Shawn Michaels the first year she's wrestling? And what do you expect the WWE not to use her and utilize her, put her out front with the name that she has? I mean, they had no choice.
What's the complaint? Like, all right, so.
Oh, she's not ready. She's this, she's
I don't
that.
know about that. She's ready.
Of course she is.
But when she wrestles a Becky Lynch or a Charlotte Flair or an Asuka, I'm rooting for them and not Ronda.
it all depends. I mean, depends
But
on who she's
I'm not
wrestling.
criticizing
Right.
Ronda, but I'm gonna say I'm more a fan of their work.
Right.
When she faces, I hate to say it, but because I like Nia Jax going into this year.
No, I don't like Nia
She
Jax at
really
all.
punching out Becky and ruining that match kind of soured me on her
Yep.
quite a bit, and to the point where now I'm like, every time Nia Jax on TV, I'm like, I'm good.
You should watch and see who she's gonna hurt next.
Yeah.
Because she really is reckless in the ring. I think so. And Derek, when he was on here, would say nothing but horrible things about her, and he was right because she's still sloppy. She's definitely better than when she first came up, but I just think she's reckless in the ring, and I think people get hurt when you wrestle reckless people.
She took away a match that we were. I mean, we might get it at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But she took away a match from Survivor Series
Right.
that a lot of people were looking forward to. And I mean, I get it. People get hurt in the wrestling business. I mean,
Yep.
but as a fan, it still makes you angry.
Of course.
Because you wanted to see that match.
Hey, you wanted
and she
to see that
took it
person
away.
that you wanted to see.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's it with the questions. We only got 20 minutes, so let's just do the NXT What's in Store, and if we have time, we'll have time for the TLC. Tommaso Ciampa, what do you think's in store for Tommaso?
Tommaso will continue to reign as the NXT champion. I don't know what happens on the main roster. I think he's great. I think Triple H thinks he's great.
Yep.
But, and I think the next guy, we're going to get into this again, Vince McMahon has different vision than Triple H does.
Absolutely.
And
I see Tommaso, like you said, hanging on to that belt for a while, maybe getting a call up this summer. If I were them, I'd keep the belt on him as long as we can. Ricochet.
well, and I know we get into this quite
Yeah.
a bit. I don't think that Ricochet is just a mid-card guy. I think that Vince McMahon will see him as just a mid-card guy, and I think Ricochet's gonna have a great run in NXT. I think when he gets to the main card, unless someone else is in control, I don't see him winning. I don't see him in a main event. I just don't, and it's not against him. It's who is making the decisions and what I've seen over the past 25 years that I've been watching wrestling.
Right.
I
think he's going to be a
20
huge
years.
success immediately. I think the fans are going to take to him, and they're going to, just like with Daniel Bryan, there'll be no way to hold him back. You will not be able to hold him back. I see him coming right up, seeing him being a success. I've been watching wrestling since 1972, and this kid has more going for him than any WWE guy that's ever entered the building, entered the company. and then built themselves. He's a bigger star than anyone that's ever stepped into the company. Bigger star than what Hulk Hogan was. Hulk was in the AWA. They weren't doing good numbers or anything. Okay? I'm not saying he's better than Hulk Hogan. I'm saying when he steps in to the WWE, Raw or SmackDown, he is already established.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Ricochet a
Yeah.
lot. I don't see that. I just don't. I just don't.
They will not be able to hold him back. Let's move on to the
Okay.
next one then. Undisputed Era.
Yeah, I think they'll all be pretty successful. I think
Me too.
I think Adam Cole will be the most. I think the other three guys, Fish, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. I think they're gonna have decent careers, but I think that I think Adam Cole, like honestly, I think out of like the most of the roster, I see him going the furthest.
Easily could do that.
But,
Easily.
The fact they used him in the Rumble last year,
Yep.
and the fact that he wasn't going to the main roster, like
Right.
other
Right
people,
after that,
like,
after Mania.
like
I know what you're saying.
Almas went up
Yep.
fairly.
Yep.
Tells you everything you kind of need to know about Adam Cole.
Right.
I don't know.
I think Adam Cole and Roderick Strong will have really, no pun intended, strong WWE careers. Fish and O'Reilly may get lost in the shuffle with the tag teams. Not that they should at all be lost in the shuffle,
Yeah.
because those kids are friggin' talented.
It's just the difference between NXT and the main roster.
Right. Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, I think she'll do great. I think they're going to use her with the Rousey stuff.
I think she's going to come up after WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I do.
I thought she was coming up more like sooner than she has, but
Right.
I think she'll be. I think Shayna is gonna be a women's champion, whether Raw or SmackDown.
She looks like she should beat up any man, too.
Yeah.
She does.
I mean,
she
her,
looks like she could beat the crap out of almost anybody.
I mean, her MMA career is not what Rousey's was,
Right,
but
right.
I think, but actually, I mean, from what I've seen, if I look at like a Shayna Baszler match and Ronda, Shayna comes off more believable than Ronda now.
Oh, yeah. Well, she has actually been. While Ronda was still having her last couple fights, Shayna had already stopped and was wrestling in independence.
Yeah.
So Shayna has got at least a year, I want to say even more than that, of a head start on Ronda. I see her coming up and turning on Ronda immediately.
Yeah.
Or forming the Four Horsewomen. One or the other.
Yeah.
Either she helps her by stomping on, Charlotte and everyone else by helping Ronda, or she just turns on her immediately. War Raiders. Big things.
Give them they'll probably be there another year, I'd say. But
Yeah.
here's the thing about Rowe and Hansen, they're not young guys.
Nope.
They're not.
Not at all.
So the sooner rather than later, I'd like
Yep.
to see them get to the main roster. I think they'll both wrestle till they're 40.
Oh, yeah,
So
easily.
that will probably give them another 5-6
Yeah.
years.
They could go even longer if
Yeah,
things go their way.
it's wrestling. Your career
Yeah.
actually can have more longevity
Right.
if you don't get hurt. But I could see them going right into. I actually could see them going into the mix and doing better than. Hopefully, the thing is, like, you saw what happened with the Revival, and you're like,
Yeah,
Kid-
the Revival did something that they weren't supposed to do.
oh, okay.
I read that just the other day. It was something that they said in the ring, and Vince was ripping.
And I don't think
And they've never gotten the push since.
And that could be. I mean, and maybe they won't do that. I mean, anybody that I've ever seen talk about Todd Hansen in the wrestling business, wrestlers in the wrestling
Right.
business, say that he can be a nicer guy and
Right.
more of a guy that's going to do what you need him to do. So, yeah, maybe they'll be.
I listened to him on the wrestling podcast against About Nothing the other day, and it was from before, and he's been wrestling for WWE in dark matches and all that for years. He was doing it. They even let him win a dark match, which usually never happens. He was wrestling a contracted WWE guy, and he won the match, which was like, wow, because you never hear about that. They always lose. But yeah, I think they go in places.
I think at the very least they win one of the tag team titles at some
Oh,
point.
yeah, definitely. And they'll have a WrestleMania moment, too, I'm sure. Velveteen Dream. Love this.
I am a huge fan, and I can tell you this: I don't know. I don't know what they do with him on the main roster.
Right.
I have
Well,
no
it's
idea.
good that he's running all this down in NXT now, because I think he's killing it.
Or maybe he developed such a fan base in NXT that like they have no choice but to use him
Right,
the way
right.
he needs to be used. But he's another one. I honestly, I have no idea because he
Right.
might get to the main roster and they're just like, we're not sure what to do with him.
Right.
You know, but he's great. But
Yep.
that doesn't mean they're going to use him correctly.
Very true. Alistair Black, who I think will be one of the guys that comes up after WrestleMania.
Another one. I really hope he has something great. I just don't. You know what? When we look at these names, and we know how great all
Yep.
of them are, but it's like we just seen so many things that when people get to the main roster, and it just doesn't pan out the way that we want
Right.
it to. So I don't know. I don't see. I love Aleister Black. I don't see him ever winning a championship, a world championship, on the main roster. I don't see it.
Right.
I don't
I
s-
definitely do.
I don't see Vince seeing that. Now, anything can happen anytime, and all of a sudden Vince goes more focused on the XFL,
Yep.
and maybe he doesn't want to do it.
So stupid, wasting
But,
his money.
but maybe he wants to do that, and he turns the reins over, and then people look at things different. But I just been watching, like, for all the years I've been watching wrestling, I just feel like, and obviously I don't, but what I feel is that I've seen Vince McMahon's vision for so long,
Yeah.
and I only know there's only room for certain people for him,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, when it came to like Ricochet and Daniel Bryan, the fans dictated that.
They did.
They didn't want to. They didn't want Daniel Bryan to be the guy he was. They didn't want CM Punk to be that way either. And the
Yeah.
fans demanded that. So in my eyes, the fans will demand it. Hopefully, they will demand Velveteen Dream because this kid has got it all.
Oh, I hope so.
He's got it all.
But I also feel like they didn't demand Punk until Punk. They said till. I felt like both Daniel Bryan and Punk were allowed a little bit of some freedom at one point, because when Punk was like, "I'm leaving," then it was like, "All right, well, here's a microphone. Go say whatever you want to say."
Right?
And then he got whatever he ever wanted. But that didn't last long till they were giving him crap again.
Well, they were pushing him, but they had no choice but to push him anyways, because Triple H and Shawn Michaels, he was supposed to be up a year and a half before that he came up.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman had said that he should come up, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels put a stop to that because they still had all that stroke.
Yep.
You know? Personally, I think things have changed. Things have changed where now, like Derek used to say this too all the time, that how good the cruiserweights are. All the cruiserweight wrestlers, especially back in the old WCW when they had, as Kevin Nash called them, the vanilla midgets.
Well, he's an idiot.
Those guys.
I do not like Kevin Nash.
He's the worst wrestler that made money in that sport.
Yeah, not a fan.
In the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of him either. Can't stand him.
One of the worst things he ever said to me was an interview with, was it Sports Illustrated or ESPN? And he said the worst moment in wrestling, now this is before Benoit had done anything they did, the worst moment in wrestling was the moment that Eddie and Benoit were in the ring together as champions at WrestleMania 20. And I was just
What a
like,
stupid
you are such a jerk.
He's an idiot
You
because
know.
that changed how wrestling is seen.
Yeah.
That was a movement where giving guys like Daniel Bryan, like I said earlier, the fans weren't having them pushing him down. But it all started with Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit
Nash,
winning the world
he
titles.
looked down on them.
He's an
It's like,
idiot.
you know what Nash is, an honest opinion?
He's an idiot.
Was that in WCW, they didn't use him at all. Shawn Michaels brought him over.
Yep.
And you know what? Vince said, oh, he's big. Let's make him champion. He got the championship so fast
Yeah,
that I still don't think that guy understands what fans want to see.
No.
You don't, Benoit is what he is now and
Yeah.
what we remember. But him and Guerrero winning the titles was one of the best moments ever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Goldberg had a big hand in Eddie's winning it.
Oh,
By
yeah.
coming in with the spear.
That was good.
But yeah, no, I agree with you on that. That was one of the greatest moments in wrestling, to see Eddie come out after Benoit won his world title. I loved it. Johnny Gargano.
Another guy I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe a U.S. championship.
I see him possibly get lost in the shuffle.
I don't.
I really do. Again, like I had said about the Young Bucks, there's a lot of guys his size in wrestling. Are they as good as Johnny Gargano? No, because he is awesome. It would be nice to see him, carry this over to the main roster. I just don't know.
It's such a roll of the dice.
It sucks
You know.
because these guys are all good. They all deserve a really good chance. Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan, obviously because Oni is a New England guy.
Big Biff Busick fan.
Love it. Love these guys. They're smash mouth wrestlers.
We've seen both of them in Chaotic. I could be wrong. And I just this is one of the toughest questions. This list is one of the toughest things that I've ever had to have an honest opinion about. I think they've hit their peak in NXT, and I don't think they go any further.
They might not, and it sucks because they're very, very talented. They wrestle a Daniel Bryan style when he came in like fast.
Yep.
I mean, Oni's unbelievable.
I'm a big fan, and I hate to
right?
Because I want to be honest and not just say what I want to say and say, well, I think they're both going to get. I think they've already got lost in the shuffle in NXT, and I think their peak was their feud with the Undisputed Era. And unless and anything can change anytime.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Unless they start using these guys a little more, then I don't know where else they go.
Right.
You know, and that stinks. But it's a big company.
Absolutely.
You know?
Next two guys got to be feuding with each other in NXT: Cassius Ohno and Matt Riddle.
Yeah, I think Ono is there to just put people over, and that's a good thing. And at this point in Chris Hero's career, maybe that's all he wants to do. And he's almost like a coach down there, I guess.
He has actually been coaching. I heard them Fury on a podcast today, the wrestling podcast about nothing. Fury was filling in for Brian Malonis, who was wrestling for Ring of Honor and NEW. And I guess Fury just went down there again for a second time as a guest trainer. And Ono was being used also as a trainer.
Yeah, and I think that's good for Ono. I think that's what he wants to do, and I think it's a good thing.
It is.
You know, I think not everybody makes it to the main event. Not everybody headlines WrestleMania.
That's right.
Not everybody makes it to the main roster. But I think a lot of people in wrestling, the knowledge that he has that he can give to people.
Yeah.
And I think Matt Riddle's future is very bright.
Oh, huge.
I think that's a guy you can't just ignore.
Nope.
I could see him going to the main. I could see him on the main roster. I'm not saying I don't know if he'll world champion or anything, like that, but I think he's a guy that they're gonna look at and they'll be like, yeah, we can't silence this guy.
Right. I agree with that. I'm gonna go a couple of women real quick, and then we'll try to get the last two guys. Bianca Belair. I think she's good. She's better than a few girls that are on the roster right now. Better than Carmella. Better than Foxy. Better than Tamina. That's just three. Right off the top of my head.
I think she has a bright future. I think the hair thing's a little bit different too.
I think it's funny. I like that.
That she whips them in the
yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Carrie Zane, already been NXT Women's Champ.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah, I think she'll be fine. Honestly, I'm not sounding. I think it's easier in the women's division to become a star at this point than it is for the men, because it's a smaller pack that you're dealing with.
Well, it's a lot bigger than it used to be.
It is bigger than it is bigger than it used to be.
A lot bigger than
it
used to be.
It's a smaller group, and I think a lot of the women will have more success than a lot of guys on the men's side coming from NXT to the main roster.
I think that flying elbow though.
Awesome.
It's friggin' awesome.
She's great.
It's awesome, and that could really take her to the next level when she does get called up. But again, we won't know until they do. Dakota Kai, a little bit the same as Carrie Zane. I don't think she's as good. She's good.
I think that Dakota Kai could do all right. They've done some, like when she was afraid of Shayna Baszler, I thought that, I was like, well, in any storyline, the bully bullies you for so long, and then she gets hers.
Right.
She never did.
And she will probably down the line.
It's just been a long time. I don't think they're even, so I don't
She's
know.
definitely good, though. Like you said, I could see her, and you never know what she's going to actually have. I think Carrie Zane has a brighter future than Dakota Kai, but...
Yeah.
My sister.
Oh.
Last two names. We got a little 3.5 minutes.
Oh, they wrestle each other.
Keith Lee. Let's go with Keith Lee first.
I think they see things with Keith Lee because as soon as they signed him, he was on TV within a week or so.
Yeah.
So then they definitely see something with him.
Absolutely. He's huge.
He got signed a year after, was it more than a year after? No, almost a year after Dijak.
Yeah.
And he was already on TV within a week.
But you don't see him any vignettes, though. I think right now they're looking at Dijak. You know what I mean? Like Keith Lee, it was great to see him up there right away. Hero was the same thing. Cassius Ohno, when he first came back, they threw him right on TV. I like Keith Lee. I see a good future in him, but they may see Mark Henry Jr. in him too.
Yeah, I mean, they could always think. Well,
Even though he's a better wrestler than Mark Henry.
Mark Henry
no
took
doubt.
some time to get real good, but
Yeah.
um,
8 years.
yeah, it took him some time.
I mean, at least 6. The other bit, the first 6 years, he was entertaining though. I liked him when he was with the girls.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Sexual Chocolate.
I thought that was really funny.
I mean, if you really think about it, when Mark Henry hit his stride as became world champ, that was 10 years after he was
right,
So that huge contract that they give him,
10-year, $10 million.
that had expired by the time he started hitting his stride.
See that?
Yeah.
Took a while, but he got. Don't get me wrong, guys. I liked Mark Henry,
Deserves to be a Hall of Famer.
and I loved his Hall of Fame speech. To me, was awesome.
And
I loved it.
And Martha Hart, please.
Yes. And
Let
not even just
Owen.
that, though. Just the whole thing. He really was. You know what I mean? Like, people were so excited to hear this guy speak and that guy speak. I thought his was the best speech of all. And yes,
Yeah.
saying that to Martha, but even if he left that out, I still think it was really good.
Well, I think Henry, too, was one of the things where he's, out of all the people on there, besides maybe the Dudleys, he hadn't been that far removed from wrestling. So the fans still were connecting with him as if it was the week before. We had other people.
like that.
You had other people on there. You're like, yeah, Ivory was great. I don't care. Goldberg, not into you anymore. You know, your speech, whatever.
Yeah.
Mark Henry's was amazing. Speech.
Amazing. I really did like it a lot. I liked the Dudleys too. That was really funny. And then when
And he brought everybody out. Yeah.
And then when Christian tried to go into business for himself to induct himself into the Hall of
Put
Fame,
him in.
that was awesome. Last guy, we talked about him a little bit before. We had a little over a minute. Donovan Dijakovic.
Yeah, I'm looking. I think the name's harder to say.
Yeah.
And when the name is harder to say, what concerns me is it's hard to remember.
Yeah.
So I am concerned about that. But he got vignettes. I think he's going to be great. I mean, we know.
How great he is.
And the first time I met Donovan Dijak, he handed me he's still being trained.
Yeah.
Handed me a chair at the Lowell PAV. Well, first he went to open the closet and there was no chairs. He goes, "You gotta be kidding me." and now look at him. The guy's a star.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see where his career goes.
Me too, because I really do think right now New England wrestling is on fire. Honestly. Great companies, great matches, Liberty States, APW, UFO, Lucky Pro, Top Rope, Chaotic, Test of Strength. Did I say XWA?
They're all great.
They're all fantastic. Dan, thanks for coming on again on short notice.
Hey, I appreciate it
friend.
anytime you need me.
We will do this again. Guys, we're out. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.